A little fox and a little puppy become friends despite the feud between their human masters. They promise to be friends forever, but will their friendship stand the test of time?
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre, Luis,
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 100.
is that a drum roll?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a drum roll intro.
Yeah.
You guys aren't excited as I am. Episode 100.
100! We do that every episode, though.
Are you gonna put an actual drum roll over it, or are you just gonna use that?
It's gonna be that. Yeah.
There we go.
Boom. The Walt Vault 100.
We've
should
done,
I could have done
we've done 100 episodes of this
Walt
podcast,
has it.
and I wanted to commemorate it by playing an 11-second YouTube video called Drum Roll Sound Effect. Thank you guys so much for being here, and welcome to the Walt Vault. This week, we are talking
It's our
about...
centennial.
It's our centennial. It's our
Cententicle.
Tentacles.
Ugh, gross. It's our centennial episode, and this week we are talking about the 1981 animated classic Disney film, The Fox and the Hound.
So, before we get into first impressions, you know how these older Disney movies, they put all the credits like at the beginning of the movie, like the stars or whatever? Did you guys both go, Kurt Russell, and look at each other? Because we did.
What we did, yeah. We were like, oh, that's surprising.
Yeah.
But we had to keep Addie occupied because she gets mad when we watch those movies, and she's like, movie. I'm like, and then Luis every time, Adeline, this is how movies used to start. Get over it. She's like, yeah, movie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's like, hurry up. Where are we at?
I mean, in my head, I'm thinking...
But Luis was excited about Kurt Russell for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, weird. Kurt Russell.
Absolutely not. Had no idea.
Okay. So, well, if Luis was excited about it, let's start with Luis then. First impression of The Fox and the Hound.
It was good. I liked it a lot.
Was this your first time watching it?
Yes.
Yes, it was the first time watching it. Okay,
Okay.
very good.
The true first impression.
He's smiling, so he really liked it. I'm happy. Good job, Luis. He gave it a thumbs up, y'all.
You guys, we got a smile from Luis and a thumbs up on the 100th episode. It is meant to be.
It's a miracle.
You know what? I'll give mine next, Luis, and I'm going to do the same thing. It was good. Okay, honestly, and I kind of pushed this movie out of my brain for obvious reasons because it's an emotional movie that nobody should be forced to watch. I told my mom I watched it, and she was like, no.
Nobody forced you to watch this.
I watched
Hold
it.
on, Michelle.
What?
I'm having a hard time seeing that those words actually exist. An emotional, hard movie to see? What?
It is an
It wasn't
emotional, hard
that
movie.
No.
Okay,
See, me
whatever.
and Ems were talking about this. First impression, let me add to it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
He's
God.
not done. He's not
It
done.
is
Here we go.
It's lies that everybody has said about this movie being the hardest movie to say.
No, but okay. Back up.
He cut me
Okay.
off with my first impression.
I'm not impersonating any of you two, but I have seen online how they put memes of when your heart is pulled out of your chest, and then they show that a certain scene in that movie. I'm like,
Mhm.
I saw it. I'm like, okay, cool. Now we can move on.
He's heartless. Heartless.
Wasn't bad.
Literally heartless. But Luis, that is your opinion. My opinion is yes, it was still a tearjerker, but was it very, very good for most of these early animated movies that I'm not necessarily into? Yeah, it's one of the better ones. The storyline was good. I wasn't bored as I was watching it. I didn't feel like it was too long. It was actually very enjoyable. I was pleasantly surprised. So I liked it. I'm really happy that we gave it a chance and watched it. So that's what I have to say. Emily, first impression.
I agree with everything you just said. I was very apprehensive going into this viewing because all I remember as a kid was literally, well, okay, I take it back. As I was watching it, I remembered things, but like, you know, you think back to the scene where he's getting dropped off, and when I watched it as an adult, I had very different feelings about it than I did when I watched it as a kid. Like, I think like now that I'm an adult, I understand like the adult's like perspective of it a lot more. So I actually appreciate the movie much more than I did when I was a kid, because I just thought it was like extremely cruel and just ridiculous.
As a kid, you're like traumatized. You don't understand.
He dropped him off at a reserve. It's not as like weird as I thought, you know?
But as a kid, you don't understand those concepts, and you're like, oh my gosh, the fox got abandoned. The dog's not friends with him anymore. They were best friends. And like, you just cry because it's sad. You know what I mean?
Well, I wasn't a part of hunting, and so I didn't understand that whole concept of like what being a hunting dog meant. So now I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm not saying I'm like into it, but I get it. Anywho, so my first impression is good movie, and it wasn't as sad as I remember, but it was good. It was like, it still evoked emotion, but I wasn't like, I didn't have a headache from trying not to cry like I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying as well. Andre, first impression of The Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, I also like this movie. Good stuff.
We all do it at the same time.
We did. That
They didn't do it.
Okay. They can't see us all at the same time anyway. But yes, I like this movie a lot. There was it felt very strong to me, similar to that of a Pixar movie, you know. And I'd say that maybe its weakest part was like the music, you know. None of these were real jams, you know. There's no,
like the ones that they say.
There's no bops in this movie. It's the score is good.
The chase scene wasn't like making you bob your head.
I mean, the score is good, but
he means like the ones that they're singing. I think.
They're the best of friends. They pal around together.
That's not the one that got me. The one was
and
when
they hang
she
out
was
a lot.
Just like saying words, and
He's
it was like
a dog.
poem.
He's a fox. Yeah, it's but aside from that, it's a great movie. I liked it a lot.
There was no bops. That's all I got.
No bops on this Fox and the Hound. But yes, it's interesting because obviously my family knows we do this podcast, and so usually every week they ask me like what we're watching, right? And so I texted my sister and was like, hey, we're doing The Fox and the Hound this week. I remember you used to love that movie. And she was like, cue the crying with like a bunch of sad faces. And then my little sister, I was like, do you remember The Fox and the Hound? And she was like, no, it's sad. I don't watch it. And I was like, okay. And I told my mom, like, we're watching Fox and the Hound. And she was like, oh, no. You know, so I think, like Luis was saying, like, everybody kind of gives this same reaction. And I wonder if it's because they're really only watching it as a kid and they're, like, traumatized and that's what they're remembering. And they're like, I'm not watching this again as an adult because it was really sad. But I'm very happy it has to be, right? Because I'm really happy we watched it again. And, like, I think it's a really good movie. I would totally watch it again.
It's really good.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it again, for sure.
Yeah, and usually we're like, we're not going to watch that.
If the movie ended with that, oh, absolutely. I agree.
Is it funny that, like, in my head it did end there? Like, when it went to that part of the movie, I was like,
okay, well, maybe we're next? Too far.
There's a girl fox? What?
I know. I honestly kind of remember that too. I kind of remembered the girl fox, but for some reason, as we were watching the movie, I was like, either she dies, because at first I thought Chief died for sure. Like, I remember being like, here it comes, babe, he's gonna die. And I was like, wait, he didn't die?
Elise was like, oh no, he did. Like, there's no way he would have survived that.
He got hit by a train, okay? He is a dog.
Every single... What was that train going like a mile an hour? There's no way.
He got thrown from a bridge. He got hit by a train, thrown from a bridge, and landed in a river. And he's like, my leg, ow.
The only reason I remembered he was alive was because I remember the scene distinctly in my head where he picks up that leg and he's being super dramatic and he's like, oh.
Right.
I didn't remember that.
I haven't seen it yet, so then I thought to myself, like, oh, he has to actually make it out of this to do that scene.
I didn't remember that part. But I was still completely convinced that somebody died. I was like, the fox is either dead, the girl fox is going to die, Chief is going to die. Like, I knew the mom fox died at the beginning because it's like Bambi, right? Like, they wouldn't have a story without that. And it was like a Pixar opening, like you said, like, wow, way to be sad. Thanks for the mood
Okay,
kill.
hold on though. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Go.
First off.
You don't have to
That's
apologize to her.
twice.
She does it to you all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Either way, I'm sorry.
The point
No.
No,
So
let him
this is
talk.
what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. Okay.
Okay.
I agree with what you're saying, Michelle, but here's the deal. Okay. Disney has been doing this for a very, very long time.
Oh, for
and
sure.
we keep on seeing these movies. So to a certain point, it's almost like this is like, you guys already know how I am. Why do you even invite me?
Yeah,
You know,
like,
Why are you guys
talking
watching
about
these?
how evil they are? They've been doing this since 1981.
no, they've been
Come
doing it
on.
since
Before
like
that.
I mean,
Cinderella's dad, mom,
Oh,
everyone.
they're always dead. There's always a
White
dead
dad.
parent.
You know,
right?
everybody's like got no
I think
that crappy, relationship, got mean
I
brothers
mean-
and sisters.
I guess I'm probably being a cynic and thinking, guys, what are we still like arguing a mute point for? You know, it's been like this forever with Disney.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
no. That wasn't my point.
A point.
A real point. No.
Okay.
My
Why are we
real
arguing
point
this
was that I was literally 100% convinced before we watched this movie that somebody else died. And so after
Yeah.
watching the movie, I'm like, he dead, she's dead. Why is nobody dying? Why did I
Everybody
think
dead.
this movie was so sad?
They all
Like,
did.
Yes, it was sad,
Hey.
but I thought it was more sad because I was still convinced somebody died. And so upon this viewing, when
Yeah.
nobody
Well, the
really
mom did
died, I was
die.
like, cool.
The mom died.
Well, yeah.
We know. We saw it.
Just making sure.
I mean,
Just
like,
making sure you saw.
I meant like I thought either Todd or Vixen or Chief
Right.
died. Like that's
Right.
what I was
I
kind of
thought it was going to be the caterpillar.
Yeah.
Or the
bro,
worm. I
them
for sure
birds
thought
was trying to get that caterpillar for like a year.
Okay, Andre was we were like, wow, there's
Over a year for sure.
a whole nother side story going on in this movie is with the two birds and
With
the caterpillar.
Dinky and Boomer versus the elusive caterpillar. It's like what's the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, but with two dumb birds and one smart caterpillar.
Do you want to know what's hilarious?
Mm.
Adeline goes, Tigger.
Tigger.
She knew that that one wasn't Dinky. What was that one's name? Boomer.
The
Boomer.
woodpecker.
She knew that Boomer the woodpecker was the voice of Tigger.
Just how
That
immediately I knew
annoyed
that Porcupine was Piglet.
everything.
I was like, it's Piglet, yo.
Oh, I know, and Piglet.
I
Well,
hated that.
but-
Mm.
Hey,
It's funny,
They do a lot of voice work, like
and here's the deal, Lou. Your point that you just said a second ago is perfect to insert here. Old Disney movies would use and reuse voice actors
Right.
over and
all
over
the
and over.
time. All the
So-
time.
Well, I didn't know this.
You didn't?
I mean,
Yeah, in the older movies, Luis, they did that a lot.
But they
like
still-
those.
I only knew it was Cat O'Malley, homie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
His
yeah.
voice
But a
was
lot
not
of the
done.
voice actors for Winnie the Pooh, they're in so much.
But I mean, they
Yeah.
still do that. You want me to look up Josh Gad's IMDb? Because that fool is in 35 Disney movies or whatever right now.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, he's himself. He's some type of icicle. And that's all I could tell that he is.
He's mad that you just brought him up because Adeline requested to watch Frozen, and so he just had to sit through Frozen by himself because I was busy.
I'm not mad.
Not even the
I'm
second
not mad
Frozen,
because part
Luis.
of my
Not
dream
even the better
was
one.
in that movie.
She wanted Frozen 1.
She asked for Frozen, and Louise said, we're watching Frozen 2 because it's
Okay.
less annoying.
Okay, yeah.
Part of my dream is realized in that movie where he dies. So that's why I'm like, yay.
Right.
Dang.
Like, all right, movie's over. Let's turn it off, and Elsa never gets her powers
You know,
back.
if there's
and-
one thing I love about
That-
Luis, it's his honesty. That's just, we love your honesty, Luis. We need it.
I love how much you hate Olaf. It's great. It's
It is
just-
great. It's very entertaining. Okay, so
It keeps the podcast going.
the storyline of this movie is extremely,
I am not.
whoa.
You are not what? If you're going to interrupt, at least finish.
Never mind.
Okay. The storyline of this movie is extremely.
Oh, no, I think I got it. Hold on.
Mhm.
Hold on. I think I got it. I am not the grumpy man this podcast needs. I'm the grumpy man this podcast deserves.
That was the Batman song.
Put it on a shirt, bro.
Was that the Batman's? Was it? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it was.
That was Hans Zimmer music.
Hear me out. Put it on a shirt, bro. Okay. So back to the storyline of this movie. It's very simple. There's a fox and there's a hound. Okay, that's why this movie is called The Fox and the Hound. It's a baby fox.
Thank you for that.
And his mommy fox
Okay, wait.
got
Hang on,
shot.
hang on. Stop,
What?
stop. Before you get to the story,
Oh.
let me just give
I
some.
just keep getting cut off
That's
here.
simple.
It's great. It's the ultimate 100th episode revenge for Michelle's miss cutoff.
What are you getting into?
I'm just going to talk about some of the production facts from this movie.
Can we do that at the end? Okay.
So it was directed by Todd Berman and Richard
Oh.
Rich. And this
Richard
was
Rich.
Richard Rich. That was dude's name.
Wait a minute.
His name is.
His
Richie
parents
Rich.
must have wanted him to be really rich.
Richie Rich.
Yeah, Richie Rich directed this movie.
Or they hated him.
Oh man, he
Keep
also
going,
directed
sorry.
all of the Swan Princess movies. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so Richard Rich and Ted Berman directed this movie, and this was the last movie to feature any of Disney's 9 old men, and these are the original animators on all the old classic animated movies. So in this film, those 9 old men started working on the production, the animation, the features, the characters, and stuff like that, and then they passed on the guard to the younger animators, your Ron Clements, your
Gotcha.
Glenn Keane, your Don Bluth, all
Today's.
yes,
The 9 young men.
You're old today's.
yeah.
The 9 young men.
Brad Bird was in there, yeah. So all these our
And I'm
favorite
pretty
Gropey,
sure Tim Burton was there.
yes, Tim Burton was there, and Gropey guy, John Lasseter was there as well.
Gropey guy.
Yeah, so all of our favorites that went on to create
And not so
That's fine.
favorites.
our modern classics started on this movie as animators.
He's the toucher.
So that's an interesting fact. And also because of that, because there was this differentiation between the old guard and the new guard directing this movie, there was a dispute over what was going to happen to Chief. The old guard said Chief must die in this movie, otherwise
Yes.
the Hound has no motivation to go after the fox. And the,
I agree.
and the young guys were like, no, but it's a Disney movie and he's got to live and he's got to have a broken leg.
We've been killing people on
they
Disney
won.
for years. I agree with Elise. They should have killed. Well, it's my opinion. It
Kill
would make
with
more
a
sense
tape.
if Chief had actually died.
So this movie, The Fox and the Hound, is based on the book, The Fox and the Hound. And in the book, Chief does die. So that's where that went. And there happened to be a bunch of other changes from the book, story-wise. Like it
Because
wasn't
it's
even really a story about
Just
friendship.
like any fairy
in the
tale, Disney Disneyfies it and tries to make it a little bit nicer, although it's still sad, you know.
Well, and am I correct in saying that, like you just kind of pointed out, that the book wasn't really about friendship, but because the two main directors were like BFFs for a long time, they're like, let's just make it about friendship
Yeah.
too.
And I think one of them had like a pet fox as a kid as well. And they were like, well, these guys got to become friends at least a little bit, right?
And honestly, I think the concept
And all things together.
And we're the best of friends.
I like that scene. Whatever. It's like one of the best scenes
I
in the
like
movie.
it too. It's just
It's
not
really freaking
a
cute.
bop.
It's not a bop, you're right. But I think the concept
I
of
should
the
have gotten
storyline-
married to that song.
We're the best of friends. An owl is officiating our wedding.
No, we got married to a Finding Nemo song, y'all. We ain't getting married to no Fox and the Hound song. This is about Finding Nemo song. Okay, continuing. So the storyline is very simple.
Yes.
It's about a fox and a hound, two people from different sides of nature that are friends as children.
Different sides of nature.
But as they grow up, they're friends.
Predator and prey. Actually, they're both predator. Well,
Yeah, it's
Predatory.
like the dog's not gonna eat the fox. It's just because he's a hunting dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So first of all, the hound dog as a baby is literally the freaking cutest thing I have ever seen. Baby Copper is adorable, and Baby Todd is cute too. But I'm all about Copper. When they're babies, I'm all about Copper, and when they're adults, I'm all about Todd. It's really weird. So they are just friends, and everything's great, and everything's fine and dandy until Mama Owl. What do they call her? Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Big Mama's trying to speak some words of wisdom to Todd and is like, your friend Cooper is going off for the winter to learn how to be a hunting dog. And when he comes back, you're not going to be friends anymore. And he's like, nah, we're going to be friends forever. And honestly, though, right away when he came back, it was
Friends
kind
forever.
of always. You're always my best friend, Cooper. That's how they talk.
Copper.
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 I keep saying Cooper.
Yeah, it's definitely not Cooper.
Yeah, you do.
In the subtitles, they kept spelling Todd T-O-D instead of T-O-D-D, and
So it's like weirding me out.
it was really bothering me because specifically the lady who adopts Todd, Widow Reed, I believe is.
I remember her vividly from being a kid. I don't know why.
She's feeding him like a baby. She's like, "Oh, Todd, you're just like, oh, Foxy, you're just like a toddler. That's what I'm gonna call you, Todd. T-O, just one D. Not that there's two D's in toddler, but there's only one D in your name, Todd. All right, thanks."
That really.
You know, it's
bothered me.
really
It really
funny
did.
because I did not remember that she said that as to why it was like
I
what
didn't
his name
either.
was. But now that I have a toddler, it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, right on the money.
Right on the money.
Getting into trouble, spilling the milk, frightening other people, just messes.
Being a Todd.
It's hilarious.
Being a
Getting
Todd.
stuck inside and can't get out.
Yeah.
Can't get out. So funny. Yes, but I remember her pretty vividly. So she takes in the fox, and then Cooper. So Cooper lives with Chief. And
Copper.
Copper. Yeah.
lives with Chief and a farmer.
His name is Amos.
Amos, thank you.
Yeah. Famous
Sounds like-
Amos.
Yeah, he makes the cookies.
Famous.
Yeah.
I love
And
those cookies.
he's a hunter, so he likes to hunt animals for sport. And the other girl is just like living on her lonesome, taking in lonely animals.
They both live
they're opposites.
on farmland, right? And they're next door neighbors.
Yes. So when Amos takes Copper, sorry. Copper is just interesting. I keep thinking it's Cooper. He takes them hunting in the winter, which Andre and I thought was really weird. We were like, don't people go hunting in the spring? Like not in the winter? But I don't know
Depends
much
on
about
what you're-
hunting.
What you're hunting for. I know my family, like my uncles and my grandpa used to go duck hunting, and that was always in like September. So I guess
Okay.
it just depends on what you're going
That makes
for.
sense.
I mean, that makes sense. What bothered me was that they went on an extended hunting trip completely throughout the winter, which seemed odd to me. It's like, oh, we're gonna be back next spring. It's like, oh my goodness,
they
it's
needed
October,
the
dude.
animals to grow up, basically.
Yes.
And they were like, hunting montage.
Sure.
I think my
I like
favorite
that.
part of all of the hunting was that Chief was like, you have to earn your spot in the front seat, right? And then at the end of the hunting trip, Copper's up front and Chief is just like, what?
I can't believe this.
I can't believe. Of course he talks like that. I love scruffy dogs. They're the best. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I'm the leader.
I'm the
It's-
leader.
I believe it's the same
I'll
guy.
say when we go.
It's another repeat.
So I have a question. Who voiced Amos, the farmer?
I'm not sure.
Let's take a look because I believe
Because that voice stands out so, like, in my ear, I feel like I know the person, which is
Right.
kind of creepy. And
That's
it
how I
might be
felt
because,
about
like,
the piglet. I was like, that's Piglet.
yeah,
gracious, where is it? Oh, here we
it
go.
might be because I just watched this as a kid, but oh, good Lord, Mickey Rooney.
Here we go.
Stop.
So
Yeah,
Chief,
Even
Mickey
it does say Todd with one D.
yeah, man,
Yeah, that's how it's spelled.
TOD. So Chief was
Pat Bertram.
Pat Bertram.
Well, Paul Winchell has a ventriloquist dummy, and that's very scary.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I-
Jack Albertson over there.
You guys are all talking about these homies as if I know who they are.
I mean, they're right here.
What else has Jack Albertson done?
He was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Was he Grandpa? Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, he
geez.
was. There you go.
There you go.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, there he goes in the bed right there. All right.
Ugh, that whole idea. Ugh.
Okay, that makes me so that makes me happy that we knew him from something, because I swear his voice was just talking, and I felt like he was my grandpa.
I know it's
obviously.
so hard when you like know who it is and you can't put your finger on it.
Yeah.
I usually just tell Andre, I'm like, can you look that up right now because it's gonna bug me.
You want to know what's really fantastic is that Big Mama,
Pearl Bailey.
3 different times. Is that Oprah?
I swear.
Oprah?
Oh
It
my
sounded
god!
like
1981, you thought it was
Oprah?
1981 Oprah.
Dude, Oprah is like 50, 60 right now.
I mean,
50, 60.
I mean, she was
She's
alive
like 50,
and
60.
and working in entertainment in 1981, I assume.
Yeah, but not like
But I don't think she was in movies.
as an older owl.
Yeah, playing Big Mama, she would have been like 22-year-old Big Mama or something like that. You know.
Well, yeah, it's possible, guys.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Andre, I know who Kurt Russell is, and so when I
She
saw
was
it,
27 in 1981.
There you
Boom.
go.
all right, so she was my age.
Big young mama.
I kept saying like I know who Kurt Russell is, but I need to see a picture. And he was like, "Oh, he plays the evil dad on Guardians of the Galaxy 2." And I was like, "Oh, say no more. It's Kurt Russell."
Yeah,
For
and
sure. It's ego.
he was a young Disney kid back when this was coming out. He had like
He was young.
Oh, God. He looks so old in that picture.
Like that black and white photo is probably how he looked when he voiced this.
right. And here's him from
Kurt
Guardians.
Russell is that.
Ta-da.
So interesting.
Oh, my God. Go down where it shows him at 14. Go down.
Oh, this
See
one.
it?
Ha.
Nice.
Slide.
Look at the little baby face.
I love it.
Oh, geez. He looks like the thing from Saw.
Yeah, so there. Oh my gosh. There was some good voice acting in this movie. Like I thoroughly enjoyed everything. I know you were saying the songs weren't a bop. Like obviously they weren't.
Yeah.
But the score was really, really good. Like
Yeah.
to me, it fit so beautifully with everything. I mean, music is everything, right? She can be driving, dropping off the Fox, and I would feel nothing if it wasn't for the music playing in the background, or I guess her reciting her freaking poem out loud, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, I was like, goodbye.
That was a weird way to go about it. I guess they didn't want to put a song there, so they were like, just recite this.
More like it was her thought process. Like, I didn't take it as her, like, reciting a poem. I just kind of thought
it rhymed. Is why I was saying it was like a poem. I get like it was like her thoughts and what she was thinking about as she was dropping it off, but all of it rhymed. So I was like, oh, she's putting. You didn't notice it rhymed? Yeah, it rhymed. So
you know what? I read so many kids' books at this point in my life. If it doesn't rhyme, it's not a good sentence.
You heard it here
I'm like
first, y'all.
reading the kids' books to them at night, and I'm like, and then he went on a night hike, and then he got off of his bus. This is stupid. If it doesn't rhyme, it just it
kids feel the
group.
same way because I could read click clack moo or chicka chicka boom boom or brown bear, but as soon as I want to go read about the rainbow fish, they're like, nah, rainbow fish don't rhyme. So I get it.
We actually read that yesterday, I think.
Which
and
one?
Addie was like, She likes the colors though. The rainbow.
Yeah,
fish.
rainbow fish don't rhyme. The book's got to rhyme for kids to stay interested. It's true.
Indeed.
So
Dang it, literature.
The point was I thought the score was very good. It was very fitting to
Yes.
the movie. I mean, I don't know if I heard it, if I would be like, that's from Fox and the Hound. But a lot of these
Right.
movies, to me, the score just kind of falls off a little bit. But I think they really took the time to like hit this one on the head. So I thought it fit very well to the story and to the movie.
I agree with you because all of the climactic moments were really like hit home with the music, like you're saying. Like when they're chasing after the fox and right before Chief's gonna get hit, it feels very tense.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, literally, I do not remember the scene where the bear comes and Copper and
I have
everything's happening.
absolutely no memory of that either. And
I
Andre
don't know
was
if
like, yeah, the bear. And I was like, I don't remember any bear.
Well, I didn't remember the bear from the movie. I saw the bear on the poster that I downloaded for our thumbnail, and I was like, oh, there's a bear in this movie. And then by the time we were watching, I was like, oh, there's a bear in this movie. I had completely forgotten.
110%. I don't remember that. I do remember Copper like going in front of Todd and being like, you're not shooting him. Like I remember that, and of course I vividly remember I'm a hound dog because that's like the most iconic line in this movie is him being like, I'm a
I remember.
Dougie the whole time was like sitting here watching the movie with us, and anytime they would howl, his ears would be like, huh? He's like, who is there? Like, what is happening?
I do it too.
No.
Let's talk about the character Vixie, the other fox.
Vixie. I keep saying Vixen, but I guess it was supposed to be a play off of that. But yes, Vixie, the other fox. I kind of remember her, but for some reason I was almost thinking like Maid Marian, because isn't she a fox? In Robin Hood?
Ending fox, but yes.
What do you mean?
Fact.
So then I was
Like-
confused. I was like, wait, I forgot there was a fox in this because I was thinking of the Robin Hood fox. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you
They're
trying
very
to see if
similar
played
now
by
that
the
you
same
say
person?
that.
No, they're not played by the same person. I just had a comparison ready to show how much Todd looks like Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, they definitely use similar animation. His
Yes.
nose is different, but
Yeah, and his ears are a little different as well.
yeah.
And obviously, you know, they're anthropomorphized differently. Here's Nick Wilde.
Nick Wilde, I
thrown
love
in.
that.
Nick, he's
thrown
so
in the bunch.
cute.
I think there was one that had Maid Marian on here.
Yeah.
Well, so here's Maid Marian, and here's Vixie over here.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, wait, which movie am I? Like, I didn't remember it because I think we had seen Robin Hood, and I was like, yeah, there's a fox in that. That's the fox I was thinking of. But I could have been thinking of this fox, too.
No doubt, though.
I mean, I think she was a necessary character, especially because he wouldn't have been able to survive being in that forest without him. And Andre made the comment, like, yes, I get why she was dropping off the fox, and she did drop him off a reserve, so that's not that bad. But Andre was like, yeah, let's put this domesticated animal that we've had for a year back into the wild. Because in real life, if there was a storm the first night and that was a domesticated fox, that thing would be dead. Like, I'm just saying.
Sadly.
It would have been
So sadly.
He's not
immediately
gonna.
hunted by that bear.
He's not gonna
and
make it
dead.
through the weekend.
Like, there's no way. Like, you can't just, that's not how rehabilitation and release works. You rehabilitated for way too long. Like,
Yeah, he was a homeboy fox, and he got thrown into the
it
jungle.
was sad. They just left him. I did feel like they were like dumping a puppy in a box somewhere. You
Well,
know
I
what
mean, it's either go out into the forest and
well, she thought he would be protected there so that Amos wouldn't shoot him.
right because the place that she dropped him off at
It was
was
a reserve. But
was a
little did she know
reserve.
that Amos is cray trying to hunt down this fox. Okay, he's crazy.
Yes. So earlier in the movie, when
When she shot
Chief
her.
and the Hound or Chief and Copper are chasing after Todd, who has infiltrated Amos's property one too many dang nab times.
He was just trying to say hi to his friend, man.
they chase him off through like a quarry or whatever, and he ends up at the train tracks. The Copper lets Todd go. Todd runs away. Chief catches up with him, and Chief's like, "You're not getting away this time." And then, boom, gets hit by a train, and then survives. And then, Copper pledges his revenge upon Todd.
And it would have made a lot more sense if Chief had died. Like, but the thing is, he let him go. Copper has definitely saved Todd's behind a couple times at this point, and he's probably like, please stop it. You know what I mean? Like, don't come to my property. I already told you I'm a hound dog now. I don't want to do this. Like, they are friends. You know what I mean? But Mr. Todd over there just can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
True.
So
I
Todd.
don't think he understands it, but it's been like that for years.
Yeah.
So Copper was mad at Todd, but also Amos. He was furious that Chief got his back leg broken and went on a complete vendetta on catching and killing one fox that lives next door to him.
Even though he has hundreds of animals.
Again,
Just went
that
Just
part
fucked
doesn't
up.
make sense.
Because I feel like he's loony.
Well, he might
He's
be
loony,
but it doesn't make sense. Okay, your dog survived. Yeah, you're so ravaged by getting this guy that no, that's why he should have died. Okay,
Right.
If anything, he's more upset at the veterinary bills that he has to pay for. I
I'm
could
gonna go shoot
understand
up the
that.
vet. He ain't made no
The
vet. He
veterinary
wrapped that thing's
bills.
leg himself. He was like,
He didn't have puppy insurance back then.
Yeah.
You know.
nah, they didn't. Trust me, you need dog insurance because Dougie has needed that multiple times. My goodness. He's just over there napping.
I'd be really mad if I had to pay for my pup's insurance when it was caused by a fox as well.
Right.
He
Yeah,
could have
that's
just
true.
went and asked her for some money
Yeah.
versus like,
pay for
I'm
my
gonna kill
dog's
your
leg.
pet.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
It's
even
only
know if
fair.
she like yes, he was like your fox keeps coming on my property, and it did look like he was trying to get the chickens and blah blah blah, whatever. Because honestly, a fox would go eat some chickens. You know what I mean?
Probably.
But he's insane. He went over to her house with a loaded shotgun and was like, "I'm getting mine. Chook, chook, bang, bang." And she's like, "Are you a psychopath?"
I love when she takes the gun and just shoots his the furnace in his car. I was like, dang girl.
Yeah, no, that whole interaction, that first interaction with them when he goes over to her house and he has the gun is probably one of my favorites because I cannot remember what he calls her, but he's calling her all kinds of
Yeah, all kinds of
dim-witted
Like you
women.
homebody, ditzy women type of thing.
We looked at each other like, dang, that's what kind of movie this is. Like, oh.
She definitely
was
called him a gun-toting lunatic at one point in the movie.
Okay.
He is a gun-toting lunatic.
Yeah, but he's got storm.
Told your gun, but you don't gotta be a lunatic about it.
He's not that dangerous, honestly.
Unless you go on his property, Andre.
Right? Yeah, and he'll take 6.5 shots to maybe hit me in the leg.
Okay, so let's talk about.
I don't know how he's missing with a shotgun.
I don't either.
I don't know. He is not a good shot. He doesn't. I don't know how he came back with so many animals. Because
For being a hunter, I feel like that's an issue. Maybe he was a drunk. Like,
Copper's really good at what he does. The animals right
Maybe
here.
Copper and Chuck did all the work. Not only did they do the tracking, but they did
they also shot.
the elimination of
They're laying the traps.
They
yeah.
worked and they were like laying the traps. He's like talking to the dog. Oh, that is a trap. I'm like, you better hope your dog doesn't go in that trap. Like, what do you think? I don't know. So let's talk about the bear. Okay, so we're in the forest and they're hunting or tracking Todd, and they find him. And as they're tracking Todd, like up this waterfall, like on the side of the waterfall, I just felt like the bear was like misplaced. Like, I don't know if I needed the bear in this movie.
Oh, really?
It
Why?
was just random. Like, the bear just came out of nowhere, and I get that they're fighting, and it was like how they were gonna stick up for each other with this bear, but I just don't.
I mean,
know.
Michelle.
Would there be a bear on an animal reserve?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Not
so.
a bear
I'm
looks
just
like
asking.
that.
So, Michelle, here's the deal. Let me explain to you how Mother Nature works.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're out hiking, sometimes a bear is just going to pop out of anywhere. It's not as if you got signs saying, hey, beware, there's a bear over here. You know what I mean?
'cause-
So if
know.
you're saying in terms of like the storyline,
Yeah, that's what
he was
she's
kind
saying.
of misplaced.
In the
Then I get it,
storyline
but
is
like-
what I mean. I don't mean that the
Yeah, she
bear
doesn't mean like a bear in the woods is not plausible.
Okay.
She's
Oh,
saying
it-
that she doesn't like it in the story.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like he was just placed awkwardly on top of this mountain. They're all
Oh,
climbing out.
no. I mean, like, in the
He could be
story.
up in a mountain.
Like, I don't know if I needed the bear to, like, bring it all together. I think Cooper just could have been like, Todd got hurt falling down the waterfall or something, and he's my friend, so we're just going to protect him. Like, I don't know if I needed, like, oh, you saved me from the bear. We
mean,
cool?
Todd-
We cool? Okay.
Todd does go and no, not Todd. Yeah. Todd goes and he starts defending Copper from this bear. So
Right.
without Todd defending Copper, I don't think Copper would ever stand
Right.
up for him.
Copper
You
wouldn't,
know what I mean?
wouldn't just
Which
be
is
like,
true.
oh, no, your foot's in a trap. I guess all is forgiven, and Chief's leg is magically healed, and I don't care about any
I
of that
get it.
anymore.
I just feel like
Like-
it was. I just didn't like.
I love the bear. The bear was awesome.
They're kind of
Scary.
he was scary, and he kind of needed to be there for them to realize their friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was terrifying. That's for sure. Also the
It
weird thing
reminded me
though.
of Merida.
Yeah,
Mom.
that
The
Merida
Merida mom.
Yeah,
for sure.
has a nasty
also
bear
think-
look.
The
Maybe
dead stare.
the weirdest thing was like, yes, Copper was like, this is Todd, we're not killing him, right? And he barks. And Amos is just like, okay, let's go home, buddy. I was like, really? Because you were wilding out and you were still down to shoot the fox after the bear attacked you. So
Well, and I mean, hold on. Are you talking about Amos? Amos?
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like he just changed his
Oh,
mind pretty
I was still
quickly.
talking about the bear.
Oh.
Well, back to the bear for just 1 second. I think, again, now this is me thinking way too far into this, right? We have talking fox, talking dogs, whatever. And then you have this bear, which I get it. It's like even more of a predator. But like, why does the bear look like it's not?
Yeah.
He's not sentient.
And I think maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's what threw me off, Emily. Maybe that's why I was like, wait,
Like,
what?
Eyes look like, he doesn't look like an animated.
Right.
Like
he's
he's
not a Disney
animated.
bear.
He's not lively like how they are. And
He's just an angry, real bear out
Yeah.
there.
honestly,
like
maybe
the other
that's what
Fox
made me be
and the
like,
Hound are
huh?
like Disney characters.
He should
I don't know.
have
It's
been like,
something about their eyes.
yeah, it's definitely the eyes. The bear's eyes were like coated in red or whatever with the black background.
Well, they're trying to make him look evil.
But the bear, he should have been like,
Yeah.
you dumb fox and you dumb hound, get away from my property, and then started raging against them and whatnot.
like
there's
the
no
bat,
there's
like
no
the
hunting
badger.
allowed in this game preserve.
Like the badger. That thing cracked me up.
Yeah, the badger was funny.
He should have gone, this is what should have happened. He should have done that. He should have been like, all right, there's a hunter up in this business, and he should have gone after Amos, and then the Fox and the Hound saved Amos from the bear, and the bear hit it, and then they were all like, you right. It's all good. We
Right.
saved.
I like that. I like that. I think that would have been good. Because it didn't
Because
make
then they
sense.
all would have had reason to get the heck out of there.
Because I thought it was weird that Amos, like after Copper was like, I'm protecting this fox, right? That he was just like, okay, buddy. And he like pet him on the head and was like, let's go home. And I was like, you were just pointing your gun at the fox after the bear attacked you. You were obviously still like seeking vengeance. But because your good old buddy Copper was like, no, we're not killing the fox now. Like it was just a little bit weird to me.
I think for
Amos
Amos,
has abandonment issues. He has
Yeah.
a lot of childhood trauma
yeah,
he's trying to deal with.
I think for Amos in particular, this whole day that he's been out here laying traps for one fox that he's not gonna eat, he just wants to murder. It's already like a step too far out of his general direction of life, and he's just crazed at the moment. But after being attacked by a bear and stepping in your own animal trap, he's like, you know what, man? I think it is time to go home. I'm going to go rest this leg and hang out with my other dog and forget all of this ever happened because it's kind of
And
embarrassing.
now we both got bum legs.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing. And you know
Oh,
what?
no.
Basically, how it ends is the dogs are kind of back in their place and they're cool. And Vixie and Todd just kind of look at them like, okay, bye. Like we're on good terms. You know, it just like ended amicably.
I didn't realize he stayed out in the wild.
Mhm.
Yeah. Widow Reed was like, you ain't coming back in this house. I don't think so, Todd.
You ain't bringing that other fox in here with you. You're going to have
Right.
fox babies. We're going to have a real problem
Well,
on
I
our
thought
hands.
some fox babies were gonna come. I was like, oh, we're gonna see some baby foxes soon. But Andre watched the trailer. Well, I didn't know there was a Fox and the Hound too, but apparently there is. And we watched a clip from it, and it made no sense. So I don't really know what that one's about. But maybe it's about their children or something like that. I don't know.
Babies.
Maybe.
Usually about their babies, no?
Ay.
Sure, maybe.
Or
I don't
marital
know.
qualms.
I mean, it might be about their babies, but the clip that we watched made it seem like it's
was
all
like
it's all a flashback movie from when Todd and Copper were kids and they're just hanging out and having different adventures than what we saw in the Fox.
Well,
and
we
the Hound
don't know
proper.
that though, because we don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
Maybe Andre can find a synopsis.
I am going to read a synopsis.
He's looking
The
right now.
Fox and the Hound 2 is a 2006 American animated direct-to-video film. The story of the film takes place during the youth of Todd and Copper, in which Copper is tempted to join a band of singing stray dogs. The film features voices by Reba McEntire and Patrick Swayze. Okay. So
Absolutely not. Never. No.
he's trying to
That sounds horrible.
join a dog
2006?
band.
This one came out in 1981, and y'all trying to do a
With
second story?
Reba and Patrick Swayze?
Oh, yeah. Sounds awesome.
I mean, I like
don't know.
some Reba, but
I mean, sounds great.
Patrick doesn't need to be in anything other than
Gotta love those early 2000s direct-to-video sequels.
when they call it direct to video, you know.
Disney Toon Studios, direct-to-video.
Yeah.
Not even direct-to-DVD, it's
Get out of here.
direct-to-video.
Well, yeah.
Mean.
This was
Tell
Right.
Luis that he's done for the episode because he was being mean right now.
Whoa.
Oh, what'd he say?
I missed your meanness. Say it again, out louder.
Like
That was
Apologize
extra
louder.
mean then.
like something like that. Like, okay.
All right.
Moving on. Did this movie make some money?
Yes, I believe this movie did in fact make money.
Am I actually hitting your face?
Yeah, dude, I
Actually-
got slapped like twice already
Okay.
by your hand.
Where
Oh,
did it
sorry.
go? Oh wait, here it is. Okay, this movie had a budget of $12 million. Wow, that
Low.
seems like a lot, actually. Actually, yeah,
No, I think
I believe I read that at the time this was the most expensive animated movie ever in 1981. I believe that's correct.
$12 million.
Maybe
$12
they had
million.
some new
For what, the bear?
I don't know. Yeah,
Technicolor.
yeah, because reading over like the animation stuff, it's not like they didn't innovate for this movie. I think all the innovation had happened on like Sleeping Beauty a couple years before and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure why it cost.
Well, I don't mean to be rude, but like the animation's fine,
Right.
especially for the time period, but it's not like mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, it maybe
It's good.
You know what I bet it is? So during the production of this movie, not only did those old guys leave and the new guys came in, but also Don Bluth, who was working at Disney at the time, left and took like 10 animators with him. So they had to come in and replace all of those guys as well. So that
Dang.
maybe that added into the production value of this movie.
It could have.
That's quite possible. Yeah, Don Bluth was like, I'm out. I'm making an American Tale. Fievel's going west. Peace out.
Still
And,
never seen that.
Oh, it's quite good.
I know Andre wants me to watch it.
Yes.
Okay, so it had a pretty hefty budget.
So it had a large budget, but it ended up with a worldwide cumulative gross of $63 million. Now,
Okay, so it made its money back.
yes, that is after
A little bit.
that's after 2 releases. It had a release in 1981, of course, where it made $39 million, and then it released again in theaters in 1988 for another $23 million.
Why did they release it again?
Because this was before home video. This didn't come out on VHS until 1994. So
Yeah.
that they had to do that a lot with older movies. It's like, all right, it's out and it's gone, and you can never really watch it again. And hey, maybe it's out again for a new generation of children and whatnot.
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, tomatoes.
Tomato Meter says that this movie has a 70% on the Tomato Meter with an audience score of 78%.
I feel like that's kind of low.
I mean, yeah. Well, at the time, critics weren't giving it super favorable scores. It kind of found its audience a little bit later once it had come out on home video.
Interesting.
The critics' consensus says The Fox and the Hound is a likable, charming, unassuming effort that manages to transcend its thin, predictable plot. So, I guess critics are just like, I knew what was going to happen. they were never going to stop being friends. I could feel it.
Interesting. I feel like that's a little bit low. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and give this our ratings. Luis, what you gonna give?
Can I tell them what you're saying right now?
I want to say maybe I like the ending. I thought that ending was pretty good. Like I said, I mostly thought that the movie ended with her abandoning the dog, because everybody and their mother who's ever seen this said, "Oh, it's the saddest movie."
the
And
fox.
that's how I thought it ended.
Right.
But because we had that other ending that was really the ending, I thought it was a great movie. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah.
Very good, Luis. Andre,
I think I'm going to agree with an 8. This is a really fun movie. Overall, the performances are all good. The story is as we said pretty simple, but effective. There are those heartfelt moments that have been like I don't know what extrapolated and exacerbated over the years, where people think that this is a straight up tearjerker, but it just ends up being like, oh no, his mom, and oh no, the lady, and
but it's okay.
But it's okay, because after all those sad things happen, good things follow. You know, it's like, oh, their friendship is repaired.
Sure.
Oh, he's got a hot new Fox girlfriend, and he gets to hang
Yeah.
out with her. So it's all
For
good.
sure.
Why not?
It only doesn't get an 8.5 or a 9 because no bops. You know, bopless. It's a bopless feature.
A bopless movie. All right. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5. I'm giving it a 0.5 for the humor side story of the 2 birds and the caterpillar, because that was just ridiculous. I thought it was really funny. Honestly, I thought the movie was really good. Like, I'm giving it an 8.5. It would probably be a 9 if I don't know if it needed the bops. You know, so
If you're gonna have songs, they better be bops. Is all I'm saying.
Poppin', yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think it needed any bops. For me, I was okay. Good movie. It's a good story. I like The Fox and the Hound. I'm giving it an 8.5. Emily.
I'm going to also give it an 8. I think that this movie was really good. I enjoyed it. I 100% agree with Michelle. The side story with the birds and the caterpillar
Funny.
was freaking hilarious. It literally had nothing to do
No.
with the other
Yeah.
than the
Yeah,
birds
it's
were
funny.
also neurotic. Like there was nothing else to do with it. And it was so funny. But I must remember that from my childhood, even though I don't really remember the birds, because I remember the song, the like
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
the little song with him crawling
sure.
and stuff.
For
So
sure.
I really enjoyed it, and honestly, we will be watching this one again because now I'm over the fear of it being too sad to
Right.
like be okay on a normal day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
really
know,
like
with-
it. I want to watch
I don't
it
remember
too.
before.
I wonder because I don't know if we had talked about this on that podcast itself, but we were debating between doing this and Bambi for our 100th
Mhm.
episode.
I think we did talk about it.
And I wonder if Bambi suffers from a similar experience where like people think it's crazy sad, but then you watch and it's like, okay, I guess that wasn't as bad.
All
as
I
thought it
remember
was.
from Bambi is like nothing, that they're just frolicking around. So I don't even know the storyline really.
90
of
minutes
Bambi.
of frolic, you know.
Like he can't stand up, and he's like,
He's got
It's like a
baby
there's
deer
like a
legs.
thump or
Is
something.
he a boy?
and
or is
Yeah,
Bambi a
Bambi is
girl?
a boy.
Bambi's a boy.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
He's an androgynous.
Maybe.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it for the Fox and the Hound.
It was
Next
good.
week for our
We finally did it.
post episode 100 episode 101.
Post episode 100 episode.
You heard me.
101.
I meant to say all of those words in
Okay.
that order.
We're gonna do another D.
Meant what he said, and he said what he meant.
That's right. So what I meant was that next week we are going to be watching the 1999 Disney Channel
Oh, good
original
Lord.
movie
Oh my gosh, I love that this came out in 99.
Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. Zoom, 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 make my heart go boom, boom, my supernova girl.
Which is apparently all we can remember from this movie, so who knows how good it'll be.
Yeah, it's got a young Raven Simone in it, and that's all I remember.
Yep.
Basically, yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh, that is Raven Simone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She lives on. They live on a space station, I believe, in space.
yeah, it's
And it's set in 2049. So
not that far off.
get your future hats ready. You know, get ready. And in the meantime,
Get into space right now for this to work.
in the meantime, hit us up on the internet. We are on social media at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good places. Go there and let us know what you thought of the Fox and the Hound, and let us know what you want from the next 100 episodes of the Walt Vault. We've got some cool stuff planned for the future, possibly some merch coming soon. So we also want you to go drop a comment below and let us know if you would ever even possibly consider buying a t-shirt with a logo of ours on it, you know?
Let us know.
Do you need hashtag always snacking? Do you need
Ooh.
hashtag nays before bays?
Ooh.
Do you need
Nay.
the Walt Vault, our faces on your shirt, on your
Mhm.
chest? Or
Should
do
we
you
develop
need
a new logo? What do you want?
Do you just want Luis's face and it says Old Man Negative? I don't know.
I think
Old
that's
man.
a good shirt.
I don't know.
It's that
I'd
face
wear
right
it.
there. I'm gonna clip it
That
out
was a good face.
and put it on the shirt.
I'd wear it.
I wish it would have him shaking his head too on the shirt.
Can you? It could be holographic, and if he goes like this, it looks like he's shaking his.
Yeah, just like that. Just like he's doing.
What did he say? What was his quote of the day? Today?
I'm not gonna be an old man negative on this podcast. So
No, that's something else. You did what?
Oh, I'm not the grump that. What did you say? You're not the grumpy that the podcast needs. You're the grumpy that the podcast
That
deserves.
I don't know.
Oh,
there it is. So let us know if you think.
Batman so much. I don't even know.
Let us know if you think that'd be a good shirt in the comments below, or you can also send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. Go there, do that. We'll read your message on the show. If you want to support us, click subscribe on whatever platform you're watching on, listening on, whatever you like, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Do it up, hit subscribe, leave a rating, leave a review. All those things help us out immensely. If you want to help us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/thewaltvault. We've got extra content for you there. Go sign up. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening to all 100 episodes, as I know you all have. And join us next week for some Xenon Girl of the 21st Century goodness. That's been it for now. The vault is now closed.